Hello everybody, welcome back. We are at the fun fair. We're on the beach. And yes, I built a Ferris wheel yesterday. But I'm not including the build in full because it took forever and it took a bunch of guesswork. But I think it turned out sort of okay. Yes, I managed to build the two sides of it so that they're even, but it's not a big Ferris wheel. It's a teeny one because, as we all know, we can't build up in the sky too high. But I think I built a little too small. But I'm not going to do it again. I will include a couple of glimpses into the speed build because ultimately, from my references, these support beams are pretty intense because they got to hold up a whole lot of weight, and it's in little fairgrounds, so they've got to be pretty sturdy. So I built it out of bricks because it can't move anyhow. But the nice thing about it is I actually got some lights on before we actually crashed the whole system. So if we go to nighttime here, you'll see we have fairy lights and we have a huge light switch here which lights it up. I think it looks quite cool. So let me know what you think. I used the hanging chairs because those were the most logical. Because if you think about it, I'll leave the lights on. Let me just change the time. It felt most logical with the hanging chairs, because otherwise the only chair we have that didn't have legs on it is that big bulky armchair. So I thought those were quite cute. We even have place for the guy. We have the arrows, the in and out. We have a guy sitting here with his cash box for his tickets, and we have an a really well designed on and off switch here with pipes that can disappear in there, that I have no idea what they're for, but I'm not a mechanic. So let me know what you think. Now, I did ask any other suggestions. So Stephen, thank you. I'm going to try and build the bell ring the bell, see how strong you are. And then of course we've got, I can't call it a duck shoot because that would just be wrong, but it's a dunk the duck. So here's your water gun, and you shoot your little, you squirt the water at the ducks to knock them off onto the table down here, and you win a prize. And we've got that on both sides here. I found some other toys and stuff. We've got both sides because I thought the kids would probably enjoy that a lot. And then we've got the ring toss, which is over here. And we've got all the rings. And depending where you land your rings is obviously what prizes you get. So let me know what you think of that. Then I did, I don't know if anybody noticed, but I did put bye here. So when you're leaving, it's like, bye, thanks for coming. Let me know if you noticed that in the last few videos. Now for the ticket booth, I have got a sign. I just have to find it. I did go and get a few signs. There's not a huge amount, but I thought that would be okay. I just have to find them. Where did I put them? I think it's down here. There we go. Okay, that can go in there probably. But we need to... There we go. Buy tickets. And then we've got also the open sign. And you'll see we've got hamburgers and stuff like that. We've got the ice cream sign, which is on, but I think this would be good to put on the ticket booth. That's too big. Let's throw it there. That's too big. It's weird how it reverts back. There we go. So that's the ticket booth. You can come in and you can buy tickets to do stuff. Then we've got the the ice cream parlor. Let's put the ice cream sign up there too. Just so if you don't see that one. That's for the little short people, the little people, like me and the children. And that's for the adults. Then I used these blocks or paving stones, which actually look quite nice in the two different colors of wood. And I found the picnic benches. You know. Then we have a burger joint here, which I decided we were going to use the paper to wrap up. So you can give the people the paper wrapped burger or hot dog. We have cold drinks and what do you call them? Juices, fizzies, cold drinks in the fridge, and then we've got all the sauces over here. We don't have squirty sauces, unfortunately, but we have the option. There we go. We've got tomato ketchup, we've got mustard, we've got chili, and then we've got the hotter sauces. Yeah. We've got a pile of the wrappings, and we've got all the pans on the back. Let me close that. And the only thing we really need to do is put up the sign for the... I found a neon sign for the burger, but I didn't find a neon sign. Yeah, that's weird. But okay, let's put it there and just shrink it a smidgen. There we go. We got ice cream, we got burgers and hot dogs, and then we got a pizza place. And I did a thing with the pizza oven, which is a little weird, but you know what? It is what it is. And if you peer in there, you will see that you do still have your oven, because if we step outside, the pizza oven is outside. This little chimney though is a problem, but I think we can make a plan with that, because I was just looking at this and we can probably use it in place of the little chimney, or just cover up the little chimney. There we go. sort of ish. There we go. And I suppose we should put a fence around it, but I also want to fence the whole perimeter. So we will get to that eventually. Now, we have a playground that we're going to have back there. I was thinking of a one-hole mini golf, perhaps a beer garden over there. But now I've got an image. Let's find the image of this, like, show your strength. And it's one of the old machines, but we are going to need a few things. We are going to need that. We're going to need the big red bell. Button. That's what you're going to aim for, because then you can make a noise when you hit it, I presume. And we are going to need something that we can use as a bell. It's got to be like pudding bowl shaped. Sort of. That might work. Can we? I suppose. I wish we had better grey. Alright. That will work as a bell, or the start of a bell. Then we need a hammer. Now we have got this. This is it. This is all we have. So it's just gonna have to do. So we can change the colors here. And we can, I don't know, make it a nice bright color. What color? I've done a lot of yellow, so maybe let's do red, and I suppose we should, let's go with plastic, something like that. Okay, and then from what I can see of what I have in front of me, the length of the handle of the hammer is not huge, but we will build this for littler people. Alright, let's see. The interesting thing I have discovered is while you can select fabric and all kinds of other weird stuff, you cannot select plastic for bricks. I don't know if you noticed that. So we're just gonna use metal. Now, because we're building with bricks, we are going to have to make a decision fairly quickly. So how long should we have it? About that. And then we want the to be fairly tall. That will work. Now the problem is the numbers. I'm going to be able to put graduations here, but I'm not really going to be able to put all the fancy stuff. But we will do our best. Alright, let's do the floor transition strip. And let's do it in looks pretty good. want it to be that wide. Will you let me? Yes, awesome. Oh, dang it. I really don't want to fight with it right this minute, so let's take it in a bit and see if that will work. And it does perfectly, actually. Look at that. Alright, so we can do graduations with this cute little thing. And we can probably use the grid for graduations. There. And then last but not least, why is my flash on? Okay, and then we can probably, we're going to need to put one in the middle, but I'm not going to worry about that right this very minute because we've got to build the top half. So, but it's a start. And then do we go instead of, let's see. So instead of numbers, we can be like, yay, here's your red. Yes. Will this work? That'll work, I think. Then of course we've got to put the bell on. But now I think let's build, where's our little friend, the block? Let's build the top section, because this is the section that you will hit. That will ring the bell. Okay, and then that is going to move up. And then this, does it sit on here? No, it doesn't. Dang it. That's fine, we'll make it fit. Okay, so let's go back to the plain red that we were playing with. And then we can put the edging around it and everything. I also want to make like a stand so that it's standing on like something that, so it won't fall over, because obviously this isn't like buried in the ground. And I would like to, we need the buttons underneath there. Am I going to just use these? I think I am. I do that. Let's move that a little bit forward. And then we can make it shiny. Wish this was more shiny, but it's as shiny as it's going to get. Okay. And then we need, I think let's do just a plate. So we've got an aiming plate. There we go. And that can be bright yellow. What do you say? I think so. And then it's just a matter of you. Let's do that. Okay, let's just take it out a smidge. So you're actually literally aiming an X marks the spot type thing. Okay, and then we'll use this as the, if you hit it, it will ring the bell. So you've got to hit that. You've got to hit that with our hammer here. Okay, we're getting somewhere. Now, let's use this. And of course it won't stand in the middle, because of course it won't. So that will run behind the bell, and then we've got a little thing underneath here. It's very technical, you know. We've got a little thing here that will rush up there, and then it's just gonna thwack the bell. So let's do the grid snapping and find our plate. I think that makes sense. Does that make sense? We will need a center for the bell. Actually, you know what? I'd like to make this double-sided. It's very thin. Just got a bit more heft to it, if that makes sense. That's better. Should we keep the bell grey? That's the best we can do, unless let me just think. Kitchen, Do we have a wok? No, we don't. We have a frying pan. Should we use the frying pan instead? How big is the frying pan? Ooh, maybe. Basically the same size as the bowl. Okay. Does give it a bit more of a heft, but let's just change the handle. Is that, what is that? Okay. Neither of it changes the handle, damn it. Okay. That's fine. Alright, so what are we going to use down here that shoots up like a crazy person and hits at the top there? I'm guessing something like metal that's round. Only thing I can think of is either that I don't think that pretty much, unless we do yellow. Let's see, it's not really big enough, is it? Okay, how small does this pipe get? Ooh, that'll work. Okay. Sort of. Okay, can we do that again and make it even smaller? Yes. Does that make sense? I can't see what's on the top here because my image is sort of slightly from the side and then right from the front. That sort of gives the idea. You thwack there and that shoots up and rings the bell. And then I'll put some more of this edging that we've been using. To make it pretty. That up. It looks quite cute. I like it. Let's see, can we just finish it off while we're here? So glad that they're now not messing with a lot of the stuff. Is actually you're able to flip it sideways. The only thing we need is a rack for our hammers, I'm guessing, and some support at the bottom there. I'm not sure why I'm thinking of a tennis racket, but if we take this tennis racket, I don't know if this will work or if the tennis racket's too big. Sort of like supports. It sticks out on the other side. That's okay. We can MacGyver that. That'll work. I'll line it up just now. Awesome. And that's so when you're whacking it and you miss, it's not going to fall over on your toes. What do you think? Something different, something. Thank you for suggesting that, Stephen. I appreciate it. I think it looks pretty dang good. The only thing we're missing is the center of the bell there, which we can probably do either with a tennis ball, but we got a ping pong ball or a golf ball. Can we? Yes, we can. No, we can't. Dang it. All right. Fine. That works. The fun is right here. Okay, so can we find, I just want a little storage, like little, like not even that big. Does it have to be storage? It can pretty much be a table, because I did a similar table on the other side. We can do the three-legged table. Where is it? There it is. Let's go for a black, white, like it should probably be on a shelf, but I mean, this is the fun fair. It's not exactly the state fair or it's the little local by the beach fair, so it's not that well funded, but people are trying to have fun here. So we have that machine. Now what I was thinking of is we can build, we've got the golf club. I haven't really played with the golf club, so let's go for like a purple handle. Can we stand it up? We can't, dang it. I don't know, how many golf clubs does any, it's usually 2 or 3 people, maybe 4. And we literally doing a 1 hole of golf. It's not going to be anything fancy. But, what am I doing? Wrong button. Change style. Now all the mini golf courses that I know, that I've been to, have got green felt, but that's indoor. If it's outdoor, it's either painted or it's concrete. So I'm going to start with green, and we're going to have to angle this a little bit, aren't we? Because normally you have sort of like that. It's not exactly. I want to build a windmill. But we're probably not going to. We'll probably put a little bit of water in here though, that you've got to get your, come on, thank you, you've got to get your ball through. So, for the water, let's just find our swimming pool. Because we only need a baby one. And yes, should we put it here? How many do we need? Probably 3. Okay, so we start here. We've got a water, then we can put an angle there, and then maybe a tunnel. We can do tunnels. If it, hold on, let me do the edging. I want concrete. Literally concrete. Outwards. Okay, that works. Now we can do the tunnel. Because it should flip. There we go. Should we make it off center? Okay, and then we need to decide, should we put the hole maybe there? As I said, it's not exactly advanced. Let's do that. And then let's do that. You're never gonna get your ball back. Sorry. Oh my gosh. Well, that's gonna be too big. That's gonna be perfect. Can we please flip you? Thank you. Okay, sorry. I'm excited. Why am I excited? Clearly haven't played mini golf for a while. Okay, that works for me. All right, let's take these out. And I think 2 should be enough. I don't want to make a big hole there because that would actually be pointless. So let's that will be enough, I think. Let's just take, actually, you know what, let's just do that. I suppose we're going to need to do this. Shall we do blue water? That'll work. No, don't do that. Awesome. Let's just take that. I have to bring it up and get a bit onto it. Oh, I'll make them pretty just now. Let's just put the water in. There, what do you say? I mean, I'm going to need another one. It does. There you go, we have your water hole. I actually quite like that stripe there. Not going to argue. Never thought of using the bottom of the pool as a feature, but that can work. And then we need, last but not least, our little friend, this thing. Because we want to give you something to knock off here. There we go. What am I doing? That's fine. Let's just throw it in there then. And you can go in there. I think that's a cute little one-hole golf course. I want to use, there's a mat in here. Is it that one? Nope, it's this one. Let's use this. And then we can put it literally there. So you can tee up your balls. Get them over the water, bounce them off there, get them through there, and get them through there. The only thing I realize is I'm using metallic, so let's go with green. Felt material. Change hue. I can't use. That's sad. Okay. Fine. There we go. And if we wanted to, we could put some decorations. What do we have that's cute? We put a nutcracker. Oh, but that's not very big, is it? We haven't got any big toys. I'm guessing that's very small too. got a mushroom there. Okay, that works. How about not really a pumpkin? We used the ducks, how about a ball? So you can't really see what you're aiming for. That's just mean. And I like it a lot. Have we got a smaller ball? I think we've got that in sports. Let's go with the green. Nothing like distraction. Oh, I don't know. Okay, that works. What else can we put in here? Where is that? No, chairs. How big is that? Ooh, that's perfect. That works. Okay, now we are going to need sort of a rack so that we can stand the golf clubs up. So I think let's get the concrete here. We can probably build a rack here that takes the golf clubs and the hammers. Oh, come on. Here's our chipboard. Oh, here is our chipboard that I don't want to be actually, you know. Ooh, that might work. Yes, that'll work. We are going to need a shelf and some side pieces. This thing does have its place. You just have to play with it a lot to get it in the right place. Okay, I want one of you over here. And then I want a shelf. I think just a standard, boring, nothing too fancy. I'm going to leave it there until I go and get those golf clubs. And then we can stand them up and see. Why don't you want to lie down properly? Okay, yeah, it's going to be a pain in the behind, but it'll be fine. I've made them, I might as well use them, hey? And then this shelf we can resize it a little bit. That will work. Let's get our friendly little thing again. I like it. We can probably shrink this down now. Will you? Yes, you'll stand up. Yay. I can go. We can get a few more of these. We can lie a few down here. Okay, so that works. I like it. We just have to finish with the golf clubs. It was almost here. Okay. And we're probably going to need to put a chair or a stool there for someone to chill and keep an eye on things. So let's get a regular maybe something like this. There we go. I think that was fairly productive today. I do want to put an edging around, but I think I'm going to leave that for now. And I would have already put the little bits of how to make a Ferris wheel without having to measure too much. So I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think. I'm sure there's an easier way, and if there is, let me know. So guys, thank you so much for watching. If you've got this far, please subscribe. I hope you have a lovely day, and I'll see you all soon. Bye for now.